Good afternoon. Crash, okay? And we're talking about crash today. This is August crash. You should know that because Warren Buffett talked about August crash for a long time. It's not even new. So when August 1st turns, it's like, oh, well, that's just what it is. So let's talk about how that affects small business owners, right? So this is the place where you are the small business owners, so am I. We think together and we will figure out what is the best thing to do right now so we can come out injured less or not injured at all, even winning, right? It's possible. I always say that in every situation, not just life in general, right? In any downturns, there is the silver lining behind it. So in every, all right, August crash tips for small business owners. So that is our focus today. And this is our website, communitycpa.com, and you can find us here. And this is our YouTube channel, and we have all of our talks, like today's talk, it will be on YouTube channel for you. And you can go to YouTube channel. When you get onto youtube.com, you search for Community CPA, not Ying, you search for Community CPA, you will come to this website, this round logo. That is us. And all of the videos we have here is knowledge-based. And our purpose for this channel is to have you do it yourself. You don't need anybody else, and you can handle it yourself. But if you still cannot handle and you want professional service, then you have us, right? So that's the whole purpose of YouTube channel. Of course, I have 2 books. And the third book is 2 p.m. I have a lot of fun writing it because it's so much turns and the curves, and it's just like nothing is stable. Talking about expanding business right at this moment is sort of like surviving the economy instead of expanding. But how do you know that expansion is not a way to survive? Just to think about that, right? So I will be exploring that in my 2 p.m. book, but these 2 are already on internet, so you can wait for my 3rd one. And no responsibility disclaimer, just to say that whatever I say is what I said, and it may go out of time, it may be wrong, but you follow me, so you do your own research, right? And if you haven't really figured out how to verify what people say on the internet, go with your AI agent, have them work for you, verify whether they're right or wrong, then you're so behind. Come on, our small business owners, we need to know how to figure out the right information, right? All of these AI tools, I just want you to kind of understand it conceptually. It is like a person at your service, right? You say, hey, do this for me. The AI will do it for you. But know that you are hiring a personality. So if that AI is developed by the developer who are biased, and then the result will be different. So the best practice would be you don't rely on one AI, rely on multiple AI and doing the same question, see where you get. That's the way you go, right? 2-minute overview. I just want you to know that the U.S. stock market dropped sharply on August 1st. Okay, and I know those percentages doesn't mean a lot of things for our small business owners. We may not even trade on the stock market, but what this happens on the market will result in the reaction all the way from your customer to your banker. So this is the big economy, right? The economy is shaking up and it's going down, and then you will find that if you are in the process of getting a loan, then suddenly the underwriter might pause, or they might just give you more hard requirement and you were about to give up. So you borrow money much harder. And from your front door, if you have a retail, and you start to feel a little lighter foot traffic, and it just things are not going really nicely. And then you felt for yourself as a business owner, you start to kind of look back and trying to figure out, are you going to have the same amount of money coming in? So this is like Wall Street fear gouging. So this whole stock market, it is Wall Street fear gouging. It is kind of giving indication to the big money player that to tell them this is uncertain time, this is fearful, and be careful, and things are not the way it was. Okay? So today, August 5th, the market dipped again. So we are talking about market being not good. All right, so I just realized how light that screen is. This chart just shows you 3 trading sessions between July 31st to August 4th. So, just look at the big drop right there. That's your August 1st. So it recovered a little bit and today dropped again. So it is a market that doesn't spell wealth. It's actually deteriorating, is crashing, it is uncertain at the best, right? And what just happened, you want to understand that crash. So these crash for you as a small business owner, you want to relate to a couple of things. So crash didn't come out of blue. It's not because you were treating your customer bad yesterday, so the market crashed, right? It is because the White House is doing things that may generate these kind of results. So for example, geopolitical tensions, all of these stuff going on, right? The international policies the U.S. has to the world, and the tariff tax, that is huge between U.S., China, and European Union, and we are not resolving it. We are just going up and down, and the not delayed policy changes so frequently. The whole purpose of this movement, if you think the White House operators are so extremely smart, I agree with you. So smart that all they do is creating uncertainty. All they do is to show you that you cannot rely on logic. There's no logic to it. It just messed up totally, right? But this is the world we live in. Whether you negatively calling it messed up or you're positively calling it strategic, making it so unpredictable nobody knows what to do. But that's maybe the genius is operating, right? Immigration enforcement certainly create market crash too. And all of the people are gone. The people who used to work and are so fear of working and they're not working, they're deported, they're put in the prison. And when some Libya, some Asian non-documented immigrant were sent to Libya, and it just all of these things creating fears, right? Uncertainty plus fear. Man, I think we all should be on antidepressant, to have a life even. So that's the world, right? Trade conflicts undermining the supply chains. So have you heard of the construction company would say that, I have a construction company business owner, and was challenging me, saying that find me a construction company that can finish their work on time. Find me one. There's no one. Every project is delayed. Everything is uncertain. Supply chain broken. So we have a shopping mall in construction and budgeted for 6 months to finish, and now it's already a year. So that is where we are. And guess what? So at this time, the important investor, the investors we all know, Warren Buffett, what is he doing? Holding back. He's putting cash in his pocket. He's not investing. Because That signifies what? Caution. That signifies what? He couldn't read. He couldn't understand the market, because market is not driven by any demand or by any logical economic analysis. I wonder what the economics gonna do in this kind of world. Are they gonna have a crystal ball, just figure out what President Trump is thinking for that day and that moment, that hour, then figure out how economy is gonna move? So Warren Buffett, useless. He can't predict. So he's actually putting his money in his pocket. So consumer confidence is going down, plummeting. It is going down. Consumer do not have confidence. Let me show you something right here. I know this chart is kind of foreign and you don't make a lot out of it, but just know that the light blue indicates consumers' expectations. So means that it's down. If the light blue and the dark blue come together closer and going down below 100, you see that 100 on my left, right? If it is go down below 100, and that just means recession. That's why you see the gray section back in 2008, 2009. Those are recession time. 2020, pandemic time, recession time. You see how these two are come together or went down? So the expectation and also the present situation, when below 100, we are in recession. So right now, the expectation already in the recession, way below, it went into recession. But the situation right now, present situation right now, is still have that distance. So this tells you how volatile the whole market is. It's like, okay, one data, the present data says this, but the consumer's mind is going in the ditch. Right. So now let's come back to our small business owners. So with economy this way, I don't need anybody to be economist, and I'm not. But what you do is you get a sense of your surroundings. At Community CPA, we have more than 13,000 business clients, right? So we have a little economic cloud, don't we? We kind of, I'll just look out to all of our clients. I can kind of feel where we are. So the feeling I have is not far from what these chart data and the big economists were saying. So it's uncertain, it is volatile, and it is the time that maybe you don't know what to do. But at this time, we have advice for small business owners. So we want you to know that with the stock market, a bond market being this volatile, and the bond market basically represent that if our bond rate is low, and it basically says that U.S. as a person, if we consider USA as a person, so this person couldn't get money from anywhere else. People don't want to buy your debt because you are not doing good, right? So that is where the USA is at on the world market. But if we could not borrow, and we're the biggest borrowers, and everybody owes so much money to the world, and we're different from China. China do not borrow that way. So with this market being our own, when we are not able to borrow, then the cash flow going down from the Federal Reserve to the bank, from bank to the big corporation, from big corporation to the small little guys, we're all short. So loan money to your business is hard. That's just gonna be a default. The stock market is volatile and the price going down, things are not doing good, bond market volatile, that borrowing cost across the credit and the interest rate fluctuates, and so the bank don't know what to do. For example, if the bank loan you for 6%, then later on the rate went up for them. They loan you 6% for 10 years. Maybe they're at loss. The second year they're going into your deal, right? Because they They basically give you too low of a rate because they should charge more because their cost went up. So all of these things tells you that it is difficult to get a loan. So for small business owners, when I said that, I want you to realize if you don't have to borrow, right now is not time to borrow. It is not a good time to borrow money, okay? Uncertainty reduces your spending, reduces other people's spending. If you have a grocery store, you might see your selling going down, and you also might see your cost going up. So these are all related to tariff, related to supply chain issue, right? So these are becoming the real situation for you. But I will tell our small business owner that if you need to raise price, you need to raise price. Because you got the supplies in high, you need to mark up your price, face your customer. There's no shame about it. Everyone is raising price. So at the end of the day, the whole country is passing poverty to the person who buy food to eat. And that's the only money they have to buy food to eat. These people are at the worst situation, right? But that's what we are. That's what the economy is doing right now. That's what the country is doing. The country is designed to squeeze the bottom piece of the population to get more money moved up to the big corporation and the billionaires, trillionaires. So that's the policy. Right or wrong, if you listen to me, you are a billionaire, you probably think it's right. But if you listen to me, you are the one that counting on the food dollars every week so you can make an end meet, then you know what I'm talking about. It's a policy. And the right or wrong, left and right, it doesn't really matter. It's a policy. But what we are trying to tell you is, if you are a small business owner, you raise your price. That is one key solution I give you. Are you going to lose client? You're going to lose client anyway. There will be clients who used to come to you, would not come to you because they don't have money anymore. But there will also be clients who do not normally come to you. Now they're in the worst situation, so they come down to you. So in the end, you're going to be subject to a group of customers you always will have. So you just take care of your price, right? Make sure you watch your cash flow pressure because the revenue comes in differently. It will reflect the market condition. You want to make sure that you have your revenue coming in, how much is coming in, what to spend. You want to calculate that, be much more on your book than ever. That's how you're going to survive. Okay, so we have 5 bullet points here. I'll give you a story on each one. So number 1, come up with contingency plan. We call that plan B, right? During the pandemic time in Des Moines, there is a bakery store. You know how pandemic came and March 21st and shut down everything, so nobody can go to buy bakery. What do you mean bakery? And people don't even know where to buy food, right? So bakery store closed. But one thing about this bakery store in Des Moines is that before pandemic, they already have an online bakery distribution channel. So they right away pivot into online, and within the week, before March ends, they already start selling bakeries like normal. And there are customers they never really ever know they have come to them. Now they want to buy from their bakery store because that's the only one available online. So plan B. Now, you may say that, oh, Ying, it's different. It's not pandemic. It is the same. It is the same. You just have to look at your business, come up with plan B. So what is your plan B? Maybe today's situation, maybe you don't even have social security number. Maybe you have an IT number and you're running your business. You need to have a plan B. What if you get deported? What if you get captured at the red light and sent into Libya? You don't even speak that language, right? So that's plan B, contingency plan. And in our YouTube channel, you can literally find out how to minimize your risk if you are deported, preparing for deportation. So those are the things we give to business owner. You can check our website, to find some useful tips that we give out to people. Emergency fund, that is something you should always have, not because of today, because of the pandemic. Normally, as a business owner, we should have our little mason jar with some money in there in case you run into a situation you at least can last 3 to 6 months. And one of our clients would, sometimes would buy life insurance for the business owner. So if business owner had something wrong, that life insurance will pay for employee for a year to 2 year salary. So those are the contingency emergency fund that you can think creative ways to figure out where to do that. Maybe you're counting on your mom, and your mom gonna have the money in case you don't run the business properly. But at least think through that process, right? And knowing what to do if you ended up needing that 3 to 6 months of operating money. So, someone asked me, what is the money? How much? Is $100 or $100,000? So what I recommended, folks, is that to look at your this year, 2025, from January to June. You know how you know your expenses, right? Every month. So take the 6 months expense, divide by 6, come up with average. So let's say to run this store, you need about $100,000 a month. Then you really should have $300,000 in the back to support you, just in case you run into situation, right? This is really, if you can survive the recession, if you can survive this crash, folks, let me tell you, the policy always going to change. The things don't stay the same. So you will come through. You will come through the difficult time and be a more mature business. So don't shut down your business. Do everything you can to keep it going. Because as long as business is there and your income, your expense will be able to adjust. You can raise your price and get more income, then your expenses are going up, but you can always be able to adjust. But imagine if you don't have a business, then you go to grocery shopping, is $100 more expensive than ever. Then you just have to come out of your own money with $100. That's just not going to work for you. So make sure you keep your business going, you have an emergency fund, and review your insurance coverage. Folks, if you take nothing home today, after you hear this webinar, you take this one home. I want you to go back, pull all your insurance policy together, pull all of them together, and review each one of them. Make sure they were covering you perfectly. And I will just tell you that I have one client had a perfect insurance. They got into a fire situation. Okay? When the economy is hard, accident all over the place. I don't know why, but it is true. It's almost like, in the old Chinese saying, they're saying that bad things come in 3. So if you have something bad, then the 2 more comes. So it's like, you just have to be prepared. Review your insurance coverage, because if you got into a situation, at least that insurance company will be there to cover you, right? So that is a way to save your butt, just in case you need it to be saved. So that insurance coverage review, very key, very key. The next one is monitoring your financial matrix. So in small business world, the important financial matrix is actually the cash flow. Cash flow means that you look at your bank balance and you look at the bills that you haven't paid yet. So what is your real balance on the cash? Very simple, right? You open up your bank account, look at your bank balance, and you also know how many people you hasn't paid yet. Then you just subtract that number, what your balance is on the cash. So I want you to regularly track cash flow. Know your expenses inside out, and making sure you control your debt level. if you're borrowing. If you don't borrow, don't borrow. Right now is not time to borrow money. All right? So making sure that you make that a habit. If it is not your habit before, now it is your new habit. If you say, well, Ying, I don't know how to monitoring my finance, well, maybe hire a accountant or even hire one of our firm's accountant to teach you to do that for 1 month. Then you know how to do that in the future. Just make sure you monitor, because those monitoring will give you directions of how you move forward, right? Maintain good communication between business owner and employees. Open book, and let employee know what we are doing, okay? And, for our firm, a good example to tell you. During the pandemic time, March 21st was the day that, officially announced in the state of Iowa, pandemic started. So everything shut down, right? And our firm at that time, and we have a remote access to our database. People can work from home, but we don't have that many computer to go around. People cannot go home with the equipment, so they cannot work. So what we are facing is we cannot deploy everybody home because we have no computer. So at that time, we communicated with employee. We find out which one has small children at home, which one has elderly at home. Those employees need to go home early because you don't want something happen, then impact the younger one, the older one, right? Then the people who doesn't have small kid at home, they're single, they're free, they still go to bars, they don't care about the pandemic. Those are the ones can go later, right? So we split them up into 2 teams. So order the computer and send the second team out, like in early of April. So that is the communication. That is how you deploy out your plan, right? Today, no difference. So you may be thinking, well, it's not pandemic anymore, so I don't know what else to do differently. So maybe today it is more of you working with the employee, and I have one salon business owner. So what they did is because of the pandemic, because of the crash, so there's not a lot of people coming to do hair colors and extensions. Those expensive services are really affected by the economy not being great. But what they do is the owner will work with the employee to post fun videos about the salon every day. So one employee comes in, brought coffee for everyone. They posted that online, talk about how grateful, thankful they are to each other, and just bring that warmness to the people who are your customer, right? So those are communications with employee, and work with your team and figure out the way to pivot, to really move your spirit out of recession. Get yourself up and running, be hopeful, and managing your business, right? And I also made a special slide to say that on the financial and the investment side of world, consider it carefully. Don't do panic selling. Don't call your financial planner, go sell all my stock and I lost 50% already. Stop doing that. Don't even try. And just let the financial investors who are doing your books and the records, have them do their job. And try not even make any move. If you could, hold back. But at the same time, if there's new stuff coming in, I'll tell you that there's opportunity, that's opportunity. Try to be very rational. And don't be hot-headed and put in all the monies and gone quickly, right? So don't try to be the victim of the financial market volatility. And there's people who are doing that. And you can kind of sense the recommendation was a little bold, to you. And those are the things, as a nature, I am tax strategist, I am accountant, right? So my nature is conservative. I am conservative. From investment all the way to how I operate the business or how I treat the money in my own purse, I am conservative. So I have not fall into these kind of trap. But did I see my client did that? Yes. I see them doing that. One of the gentlemen lost all of his retirement fund because of the opportunities that he got. And he was on the parking lot calling me, not knowing how to disclose that news to his wife. They're in their 60s. It is so sad for anyone to be in that position, come to 60s, lose all their investment. So I want you to not just listen to one person. If you got someone give you a big idea, wanting to do drastic things on your money, ask for other advices. Ask your brothers, sisters, ask other people, and to then consolidate the thought, right? Prepare for a longer term changes. Be ready to adapt the business model or offerings if consumer behavior shift, during this time. A good example I will tell you, the auto repair industry, because of the electronic vehicle coming into the market, so the automobile repair industry are impacted by that because not a lot of electronic vehicles are needing oil change and all that stuff. So some of those jobs are kind of dwindling and become lesser and lesser. So one of our clients noticed that. So what they are doing is they are developing a facelift for the car repairs. Other than just repairing the cars, they're doing facelift. They're doing minor scratches repairs. They're even expanded to body wrapping for the vehicle. So that added new income for them. So this is a shift. This is a strategic behavior. A business owner know how to proceed so the business stay valid. Okay, so those are examples in your industry. I'm pretty sure you know what that is. So really think deeper and start shifting. For law firm, CPA firm, you know what you need to do right now for a longer term changes is to upgrade your technology. Do a gut-wrenching changes on your technology. Right now, you have time. Right now, you can still do it, be ahead of time. If you wait until everybody else did it, then your firm will be invalid. It will be going to the trash can. So who need bookkeepers anymore? There's no need for a bookkeeper. People need it is a CPA. People need it is CFO. People need it are advisors. So all of that is transforming your industry. So these are the things we call prepare for longer term changes. So folks, if you are a law firm, and you are still running papers right now, take this time. If it is your downtime, because the economy is bad and nobody get divorced, I'm just kidding. Everybody get divorced when the economy is bad. So you should get busy. But you should also get your technology up. Very important. Okay? Keep an eye on the policy change. The best place for you to come is our YouTube channel. We actually updating all the time. We want people to know what's going on. Sometimes these background knowledge that we introduce to you only gonna make your vision broader. So you don't look at the tree, you look at the forest. If there's a snow falling, you know that it's not just you. Then your mind would actually do better. Your mind if I tell you everybody's sale dropped by 50% and your sale dropped by 60%, but I told you that, all the clients we have drop 50%, what do you feel? You feel a little bit at ease because you know the forest has a snowfall. But if you don't have that view in forest, you only see yourself drop 60%. What are you going to do? You're going to close your business. You're going to be like, I'm no good. You're going to admit defeat. No. So this is why the general knowledge is important. And we need to have that, right? Consider adapting your business model, pricing, service offering, everything. Make changes. Come out of this. Come out of this winning. Keep up with these news. Regulatory news, what's going on? You know, President Trump gonna keep us alert because he doesn't sleep. He posts at 3 a.m., on his Truth Social. And we don't post that crazy, but we keep up with what he posts next day. We're like 7 hours late, but it's still, we know what he posted, right? So that is where we are. We want to know what's going on. Then we dissect that big behavior into small things we do tomorrow for our own business. Follow our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get your updated business news, okay? Our talk can guide small business owners in understanding the current market environment. And so you can make practical decisions to make yourself more resilient during this crash time. The market volatility, the market crash has something to do with you, but should not control you. You have a way to control. So now, let's go back to what we talked about. You're going to have Plan B. You're going to have cash saved. You're going to try not to borrow. You're going to watch your cash flow. And you're going to follow Community CPA on YouTube channel. You will make it. And I want to show you the last 2 slides, which is our partner. You can come in to us and you pay a fee, a small fee, but we answer all your questions, right? Go to our website and you select the appointment button on the top. Then it will give you this list and you can select us to talk to us. And this is the website, email, and our phone number, 515-288-3188. We open Monday to Saturday, 6 days a week. Yes, we're oddballs, but we work very hard for you. I'll talk to you again, small business owners.